In today's world of market volatility and uncertainty, your retirement plans need to be front and center. With ever-changing tax laws, healthcare worries, and an unpredictable stock market, don't overlook the vulnerability in your retirement planning. Protecting your family and estate will be difficult with shifting policies in Washington. It's more important than ever to keep an eye on retirement.
Well, hello there, and welcome into another episode of Eye on Retirement, coming to you from the retirementhelp.com studios. I'm your host, Matt Goolsby, and today I want to talk about something that's making headlines. According to the latest reports, the United States is creating over 1,000 new millionaires every single day. And that's a lot of folks crossing that $1 million mark. Now, that sounds exciting, but here's the truth. Building wealth, it's just the beginning. The real challenge is keeping it, especially with inflation, taxes, and life's curveballs that always are in play. And if you've built any kind of nest egg at all, you know the rules keep changing. Tax laws shift, costs go up, and what worked yesterday might not work tomorrow. And most folks are thinking, well, I've got a tax person and I've got an investment person, and my estate documents are in a drawer somewhere, so I'm set. But if those professionals, if they're not talking to each other, you're the only common denominator. You're the one left connecting all the dots. And let's be honest, most retirees don't know what questions to ask or what to watch out for until it's too late. And that's not your fault. Retirement has gotten complicated. Tax brackets, Medicare surcharges, required minimum distributions, capital gains, Social Security taxation. The list goes on and on and on. It's easy to miss something important when you're the only one trying to keep all those plates spinning. Now, let me tell you a story. I'm going to share with you this story. I met a couple who'd done everything right. They'd worked hard, they'd saved, and they've had advice from good people. But when one spouse passed away, they found a rental property had to go through probate. And I want to make sure you understand here, nothing illegal happened. No one had looked at how all the pieces had fit together. The surviving spouse told me, Matt, my biggest problem is I don't know what questions I should have been asking until it was too late. And that's the heart of it, I think. Most folks aren't missing things because they're careless. They just don't know what they don't know. And when you're the only one tying everything together, it's easy for something to slip through the cracks. That's exactly why we developed our Core 4 report process. It's not a guarantee, and it's not a one-size-fits-all advice. It's a structured way to review the 4 key areas of retirement. Your retirement income, estate planning, other risks, like healthcare and long-term care, and taxes. Because each area affect the other. And reviewing them together helps uncover gaps before they become problems, just like in this example here I'm talking about. Now, for example, your retirement income decisions, they can bump you into a higher tax bracket, and that could affect how much you pay for your Medicare. Maybe your estate documents need updating based on how your accounts are titled. None of these decisions exist in isolation. They all overlap with each other. And when you work with a disconnected group of professionals, you, the retiree, become the middleman, managing strategies and terminology when you should be enjoying retirement. A coordinated team helps you review decisions in context, not just individually. So Sherry's story is a reminder that retirees want confidence that someone's reviewing the big picture and asking the questions they might not know to ask. She wanted coordination. She needed clarity, and she should have had proactive help. Everyone's situation is unique. No single strategy works for everyone, but having a process, a consistent Year-to-year review can help you stay informed as rules change and your life evolves. That's exactly what our Core 4 report process is designed to support: structure, clarity, and coordinated evaluation. Now, see, if you're watching and you're wondering whether your retirement is being looked at from all angles, consider scheduling an introductory conversation with us. It's educational call. There's no cost, no obligation, and it helps people understand whether a coordinated process may be beneficial for your situation. See, retirement, it isn't just about accumulating savings. It's about maintaining confidence in your decision as you use those savings. Having a coordinated team can help you approach those decisions with more clarity. Now, when we come back, we'll explore how our Core 4 report process revealed a potential disaster for one couple's estate plan. And with our estate planning attorney, Gerald Eidelman. But first, I want to take this step in timeout here. Again, if you're handling all these things on your own, if you're the middleman, if you're the only common denominator between your tax guy, your estate planning attorney, your investment advisor, your Medicare advisor, take this first step. Schedule your 15-minute introductory call. It's the start of your journey to clarity and confidence, and you can do that by calling 833-44-CORE4, or you can hop on over to our website at retirementhelp.com. You're watching Eye on Retirement from the retirementhelp.com studios, and we'll be right back with Gerald Eidelman, one of our estate planning attorneys, right after this.
Out on the water, there is a moment. Perfect synchronization. The team working together in harmony to reach their goal. Now, imagine finding a team of financial professionals to help run your course down the river of retirement. Market Advisory Group is that team. Financial advisors, tax professionals, estate planning attorneys, and Medicare advisors. All in the same boat. If you don't have a team like this in one place, it can become a hassle to relay information between them. When you come to Market Advisory Group, we bring everyone together for you. To get you answers in real time. To help make sure you don't miss something that puts your unique plan off course. You shouldn't be the one doing all the work to keep your retirement on pace. You should have a team in the boat with you. Your voice telling them where you're at, where you'd like to end up, and how you want to get there. And at that point, everyone falls into sync, all pulling in the same direction, toward the same purpose. Your retirement's financial security. We are Market Advisory Group, proud sponsor of Shocker Rowing.
Welcome back. You know, I want to ask you guys, what happens when you've done everything right? You've worked hard, saved diligently, and even set up a trust. Yet one overlooked detail can threaten your family's financial security. See, Susan and her husband, Doug, were the picture of retirement success. Together, they had saved over $2 million in their retirement accounts. They wanted to make sure their family was protected. So they had created this trust. But there's a twist coming. You know that, right? Here's the twist. Doug, he passed away just 3 years after retiring. When we reviewed their plan through our Core 4 report process, we discovered something shocking. Yes, they had had a trust, but they'd never updated their contingent beneficiaries on their investments. That one oversight could have turned their well-laid plans into financial disaster for their loved ones. Now, here to explain why this simple mistake can have devastating consequences and how to avoid it, that's the most important part,
That's right.
is the estate planning attorney, Gerald Eidelman of Eidelman Law Firm. Tell us what happens here when people, they take the time, they're responsible, the planners out there, they go out there and they get a plan created, but then they don't know what to do with their pretty papers.
Right. And that happens a lot. I mean, this case is particularly traumatic because, as you know, beneficiaries listed on accounts are the ones who are going to be the beneficiaries. Typically, we want to avoid that. We want to have the trust be the beneficiary so that if something like this happen, doesn't create and destroy the family. In this case, they had two sons. One of them had predeceased the survivor. The dog, and
Not the dog.
not dog,
Dad.
dad, yeah, had predeceased dad, and that left the contingent beneficiary to his children. Now, the problem with that, which is normally what you want to do, is that his children were newly adopted children that the parents did not have any connection with, had no relationship with, they lived far away from them, and they did not want to leave that to them. They had other grandchildren, they had the other child, they want to provide for him.
Well, normally in these instances, when someone goes and creates a trust, there's normally a reason. There's
Right.
there's normally not a motive, but there's normally a driving factor into why they should have the trust in their estate plan. And if you don't go around and update, whether it's rental properties, whether it's beneficiaries or contingent beneficiaries, or maybe even how accounts are titled, it can really negate the whole effort, the time, the intent of drafting up that estate plan, and everything goes awry.
Absolutely. Leaving these accounts out in the wild, basically, or assets in the wild, creates all kinds of problem because we develop trust with the intent of following in a particular direction that the trustee or the grantor has.
Now, when you set up these trusts, obviously, in that moment, normally an attorney will help that person retitle their accounts.
Correct.
But that attorney doesn't stay with them as life transitions and moves. And as you buy new property, as you sell property, as you acquire new assets, maybe you move your investment accounts, the attorney doesn't stay up to date and babysit them to make sure all those things are titled the way they need to be titled.
Right. And that's one of the problems we run into a lot of times because somebody sets it, in their 50s or 60s, and then they move to Florida and they buy a new home. They don't put it in the trust. Investments change. People move around their money, open new accounts. And so if they don't keep up with the proper titling of the assets, those assets could be left out in the wild, like I say, and not accomplish the purpose that the grantors had.
When you spend this money to do your estate plan, you take the time to get the planning done. And I think some people just set it and forget it. And that's not what needs to happen.
No.
There can be life events that met with death, divorce, new kids, new
Right.
family members, new marriages, anything that can trigger an update there. And a lot of people just think they have it covered until it's too late.
Right. And I always tell my clients, you should do a review every 3 to 5 years. Make sure nothing has changed in your life. Make sure nothing has changed in the law. To keep up, I have people who have 20-year-old trusts, and all the people that are listed as the trustees have been dead for 10 years.
That's going to be a problem.
Yes, it will be.
And most people, again, do not realize they have these problems. They have a plan on paper,
Right.
but they don't really have a way to keep it executed ongoing. And when you're not working with a coordinated team, you're left as the only common denominator, responsible for connecting the dots and asking the right questions about your retirement. But you don't have to do it alone. Working with a team means having professionals who communicate, collaborate, and help you uncover the questions you might not even know to ask. Taking that first step, it's simple. Schedule your 15-minute introductory call and by calling 833-44-CORE4 or go to retirementhelp.com. Up next, we'll dive into a real-life story with our lead tax advisor, Joshua Cicora, and explore how tax planning changed the future for a retired firefighter. Stay tuned.
Every client we work with deserves a custom-made plan to fit them.
We can take any situation that's thrown in front of us, look at what fears they may be, trying to work through it, and come up with very creative solutions.
We are unique to people that are seeking to try to have the complex things more simple.
We work together as a team. As an advisor, it'll come up with tax questions. It's great to have a CPA here in the office that can answer those questions and give them accuracy.
Market Advisor Group, proud to be local.
Retirement is supposed to be exciting, the reward for decades of hard work. But for many, it starts with a flood of questions. When should I take Social Security? How will taxes change when I stop working? What do I need to know about Medicare? And what happens to everything I've built when I'm gone? Retiring isn't just about leaving work. It's about stepping into a whole new season of life and making sure you're ready for it. That's why there's retirementhelp.com, a free online resource built specifically for people just like you. Clear, trustworthy information on the decisions that shape your retirement. RetirementHelp.com is here to empower you with the resources and education you need to retire with ease. What sets RetirementHelp.com apart from other resources is how we view retirement planning. We believe it takes a team, because taxes can affect Medicare costs, and finances can affect estate planning. We take a holistic approach to retirement, so you don't have to bounce around like a pinball to get your questions answered. We have articles designed to answer questions you may have, webinars that dive deeper into topics like Social Security and taxes in retirement, videos, TV shows, and podcasts exploring real-life issues retirees have run into, as well as daily updates addressing changes in the retirement landscape. Don't let doubt keep you up at night wondering if you're ready or not. Visit retirementhelp.com today and start planning the retirement you deserve.
Welcome back into Eye on Retirement, coming to you from the retirementhelp.com studios. I'm your host, Matt Goolsby, and in this segment, we're focusing on a topic that can make a huge difference for retirees: tax planning. And if you've saved in pre-tax accounts, those IRAs, 401ks, rising taxes in the future could impact your income. So joining me is our lead tax advisor, Joshua Cicora. Joshua, thanks for being here. Taxes are a big thing. Tell us what's going on.
Thanks, Matt. Taxes are one of the largest ongoing expenses in retirement. And many people think of taxes as something you just do once a year. But there's really a big difference between tax preparation, which looks backwards, and tax planning, which looks forwards.
You find a lot of people don't get tax planning. Is that true?
That is very true, unfortunately.
Well, and I think distinguishing the difference between preparation and planning, that's a good point to make, because tax preparation, it records what's already happened. It's history. Tax planning, it's about reviewing strategies that may help retirees avoid tax surprises. Now, no strategy guarantees results, but timing and the coordination can influence how taxes affect retirement income. So Joshua, I know you recently worked with a retired firefighter. He was in my Kansas City office. And he had a unique situation where he had some dollars left in his 12% tax bracket. Would you like to share that story?
Yeah. These unique stories tend to be a little bit more fun. And so this client, he worked hard, he saved diligently, and built some significant wealth, but it's all in his pre-tax accounts. He realized that if tax rates rise, his retirement income could shrink. He asked his former advisor about Roth conversions, but they really couldn't help that. So that's when he came to us, and we worked with him and developed a multi-year Roth conversion strategy to reduce his future tax risk and protect his income.
Now, what's really interesting here, and I want to break that down for our viewers, is what a Roth conversion and why does it matter for retirees?
Yeah, so a Roth conversion means just moving money from your traditional accounts, your pre-tax accounts, to a Roth, typically a Roth IRA. You pay the taxes now, but then it grows tax-free forever
For retirees, this means more predictable income and protection against future tax hikes.
So I'm sure there's some important things to factor here. So what are the key considerations? Age, income, timing?
Yeah, that's a lot of it. We look at your current tax brackets, Medicare surcharges, and income tax thresholds. Often, partial conversions over several years work best. The goal is to develop the low tax brackets without triggering penalties accidentally.
So basically, simply put, someone's going to pay the taxes on these monies. If you don't develop a plan to unwind these taxes, it's probably not going to get any cheaper if the longer you wait. So how do you calculate the right amount to convert?
Yeah, that's a great question. So we project your income and then look at the taxes for that. And then we see what option exists to convert enough to maximize those lower brackets. It's all about balancing today's tax cost with tomorrow's potential savings.
What are some of the mistakes you see retirees make when it comes to Roth conversions?
Yeah, definitely the biggest mistake is just to ignore that future tax risk. But then also, at the other end, converting too much at once or not coordinating that advice with other advisors. Everybody's own situation is unique, so it's important to review these options very carefully.
So just like in the previous segment when we were talking with our estate planning attorney, Gerald Eidelman, about how when you get that estate plan done, it's the retiree's responsibility to make sure everything flows smoothly, nothing gets missed going forward. It's the retiree's responsibility here to coordinate the tax and the financial advisor together, and that's a big area we see a lot of people not do.
Yeah. We often talk about who wants to retire just to take on a part-time job like this.
So let's talk about how this fits into our Core 4 report, that talks about the 4 different areas of retirement. Taxes affect almost every other decision in retirement.
Oh, exactly. Decisions about income can affect your tax brackets. Tax brackets can impact your Medicare premiums. That's why we review all these things together, not just in isolated silos.
Well, now let's open things up for a couple minutes here because, Joshua, if someone's listening and thinking, I've never done this, what's the first step?
Well, the first step is to start with a tax analysis. Let's talk about your current brackets, project out your future income. It's really never too late to start planning.
And so what's the biggest misconception about Roth conversions?
That it's too late or it's really only for the wealthy. Neither of those are true. With the right strategy, many retirees can benefit.
So this firefighter, his pension wasn't taxed, and you could look at that, but because we were working as a coordinated team, we could take a look at that, right? And he could see, hey, my pension's not taxed, so that opened up these dollars in the 12% tax bracket.
That's right. So we wouldn't be able to see that, but because we work together as a coordinated team, we can talk about those things as they come up during the course of the year.
And it's great insights, Joshua, for anyone watching. And this first step is simply understanding where they're at, where they stand. And that's why we offer this 15-minute introductory call. It's not personalized advice. It's just educational conversation to see if our process might help you. And this process that we took the firefighter through, he had a previous advisor. He had someone helping him with his taxes, but he realized he was the middleman.
Exactly. A lot of these people we meet with, they may have a financial advisor. They may have a tax person. They may have an attorney who put an estate plan together, but they've got all these silos they're dealing with, and they're the ones who were left shuffling things in between. That's where the coordinated team approach comes in because there's no longer separated silos. It's all a coordinated plan.
Now, you didn't have any idea I was going to ask this question, but I'm confident you can answer it. Do you see a lot of retirees go between these professionals and make sure and ensure all of their areas are covered and there's no gaps in their plans?
Yeah, no, not so much.
Why do you think that is?
It's tough. It is too tough for someone to, first of all, line up professionals that they can work well with, and then two, understand the jargon and the nuances of the things that are being said to manage these things back and forth.
And when we take people through this Core 4 report process, we take a look at all the areas at once, and people aren't having to go out and, like you said, do these silo activities and have to repeat their story and go from person to person. And then worse yet, when things change, go back and ask all the questions they need to be asking.
That's right. That's right. And it's too much to expect out of people. If someone's attended one of our classes or workshops, they can schedule a 60-minute review right now. That's where we walk through the Core 4 report process in detail. Again, it's educational, not a recommendation, and completely optional.
And so we give that option to book the 60-minute time once they have a foundation of education. But if you don't have that foundational education from attending one of our in-person classes or webinars, but you're also concerned about the future of taxes, the first step is to start with a 15-minute intro call with us. You can do that by calling 833-44-CORE4, or better yet, you can visit us online at retirementhelp.com, and you can schedule that introductory call today. From that point, we'll guide you through a personalized strategy, and we take you through that Core 4 report process to uncover any gaps or areas that you might not be aware of that could be lurking, because unfortunately, I think you'd agree with me on this, Joshua, we meet a lot of people once they've cost themselves a bunch of money in taxes or a costly mistake, and that's not the ideal time to find them.
No, a lot of times we meet with these people and they've already had the problem and we can't unwind it from there.
That's so true. And if you're out there watching this, thinking to yourself, well, I have all these people, or I have some of these people in my life, a tax person, an estate planning attorney, a financial advisor, but I'm the only one communicating with all of them. You need to take control of your financial future, and you can start with the Core 4 report process. Step 1 is simple. Schedule your 15-minute introductory call today by dialing 833-44-CORE4. That's 833-442-6734, or better yet, you can visit us online at retirementhelp.com. From there, we'll guide you through the personalized review to help you protect your retirement from unexpected surprises. Don't wait. Your future deserves clarity and confidence. Call now or go to retirementhelp.com and take that first step towards peace of mind. That's all the time we have for this week. I'm Matt Goolsby, reminding you that we're here to keep an eye on retirement.